The final testimony? Huh? Here's the final testimony? I doubt it. So it's your job to prove that Christoph Gavin is the real murderer. What? That's it? Is that it? That's it? That's it? Mr. Wright, I hope you understand that this is a courtroom, not a comedy lounge. I don't understand that, Your Honor. My testimony was born with the utmost gravity. Somehow I doubt that. Mr. Justice, please don't tell me you still want to cross-examine. Oh, well. What do? I have no idea how to handle this testimony. Should I still cross-examine? Fuck it. Do it! YOLO! Your Honor, the defense asserts its right to cross-examine the witness. This testimony contains information of vital importance, I hope. Well, it looks like we're not getting around it. Mr. Justice, you may cross-examine the witness. However, Mr. Justice, I want to make it clear that this will be the final cross-examination. I will not tolerate any distracting, pressing conversations. Just present your evidence and be done with it. What? Fuck. And if what you present doesn't satisfy me, I can't truthfully say that I'll be very pleased. Fuck. I give the defense 40 seconds before it crashes and burns. There's absolutely nothing of value in this testimony, but I believe I can wait 40 seconds. Alright then, Mr. Justice, you may begin your cross-examination when you are ready. No, but we don't have another choice. If we don't cross-examine, the judge will find very guilty. Mr. Wright has given us another chance. If we don't succeed here, it's over. Alright, fuck us. You've got this. No persons allowed. Present one piece of evidence. This is it, Apollo. If you don't figure this out right now, Vera's going to prison. You can't mess up. Your Honor, the defense is ready to cross-examine the witness. Alright, Mr. Justice, you may begin. Oh, fuck. What? I was right. I was thinking the exact thing. My God. It was staring us right in the face the entire time. The real contradiction of this whole messed up trial. Your Honor, I believe that the defense is now also mistaking the courtroom for a comedy lounge. He seems to be literally trying to present his attorney's badge as evidence. Mr. Justice, what is the meaning of this? What kind of a mockery are you trying to make of this court? Well, I won't stand for it. I gave you fair warning, Mr. Justice, and now you're... Wait just a minute, Your Honor. You didn't give me a chance to explain myself. I promised my objection was completely serious. Fine, but make it quick. Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, you can't be serious. How can you allow him to proceed? Mr. Montgomery, I said I'd hear it out, and by gum, I'm going to hear him out. Don't interject and make this take longer than it needs to. Mr. Justice, proceed. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, could you please repeat what you just said for the court? Sure, I don't see why not. I said that it's your job to prove that Christoph Gavin is the real murderer. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Miss Von Karma, where do you say that is accurate? If you want to win the trial, then yes, the statement is accurate. That's where you're wrong. That is a contradiction. What? What? Order. I will have order in this courtroom. Mr. Justice, explain yourself at once. Your Honor, the whole time we've been looking at the case wrong. Both sides falsely assumed that the only way to acquit Vera was to prove the guilt of another. Well, isn't that true? The evidence and testimony point to Vera. Since you couldn't prove any of it, you need to prove another's guilt to win the case. That's where you're wrong, Von Karma. That's why I presented my badge as contradictory evidence. This badge proves that I'm a defense attorney, nothing more and nothing less. Do you know what that means my job is, Von Karma? To prove that your client is innocent by proving Mr. Christoph Gavin's guilt? Wrong. As a defense attorney, my only job is to prove that there is reason to doubt the prosecution's case. Normally, you're right, Von Karma. Many cases are solid enough that disproving the prosecution's cases need to prove reason to doubt. But this case, don't make me laugh. Von Karma, you haven't proven a thing about your case. Mr. Apollo Justice, frankly, I'm astonished you would tell such a foolishly blatant lie in open court. What have I been doing this whole time besides prove my argument? I have both evidence and testimony. Have you really proven anything? Von Karma, your case hinges on one witness's testimony. Christoph Gavin's. Do you have any evidence that confirms his story? We've been over this, Mr. Apollo Justice. His testimony fits with the stamp being the murder weapon. Furthermore, it explains the defendant's motives for the murder and her use of the stamp. That's right, Von Karma, but you didn't mention anything that proved Gavin was being truthful with us. His testimony fits, it explains things, and we saw already that it doesn't contradict the evidence. Does any of that prove it is true? Von Karma, we seem to agree on one thing. The only way to prove Gavin is lying is to prove he did it. However, the defense asserts that it is no longer obligation to prove Gavin is lying, especially when the prosecution has failed to prove that he isn't. Order, I will have order in this courtroom. Mr. Justice, what does this mean? What ramifications are there to this revelation about the weakness of the prosecution's case? It means that another theory would be just as valid as the one that the prosecution gave, so long as it doesn't contradict the evidence. Which there is only this and this. And frankly, yeah. Since the prosecution can't prove its witness's honesty and says its theory's validity, I am under no obligation to prove myself. I must only not contradict the evidence. You're saying that you have the theory, Mr. Justice. What is it? I believe my theory would be best presented as a testimony by another witness. One whose testimony will be, for all the reasons I have stated, just as valid as Gavin's. Another witness whose testimony would be just as valid. I'm talking about the defendant, Vera Misham. The defendant? Why her? Prosecutor Von Karma, you said that you did your homework. So I know that you already know what Vera would say if we call her to the stand. She'd say that the real killer is Christoph Gavin. Christoph Gavin. That Gavin was the one who hired her to forge evidence. That Gavin hired her to forge evidence for him. That Gavin was also one who gave her the poison stamp, and nail polish. And the defense asserts that Gavin did this in order to This is in order to cover up the forgery. Well, what do you look at that? A scenario that doesn't contradict the evidence. It even explains the methodology and motive of our killer. Who would have thought? Fact is, the only thing this scenario contradicts is Christoph Gavin's testimony. They already explained why his testimony was no more valid than Vera's. My word, I think you're right, Mr. Justice. This scenario does make sense given the evidence. But seeing as there's no evidence that truly supports either testimony more than another, I seem to no longer have any real reason to believe the prosecution over the defense. Seeing as this is the case, this court finds the defendant, Vera Misham. Nyah! Miss Von Karma? Why are you objecting? I'm sorry, but... Silence, you foolish fool who foolishly listened to the foolish ramblings of a foolish fool. Mr. Apollo Justice, you have just made an error I can only describe as both critical and foolish. You claim the defendant's testimony is just as valid as is Mr. Christoph Gavin's. I will confess that you were correct when pointing out I had no evidence to back the testimony. However, there is still one thing about the defendant that makes her less trustworthy in comparison. She is the defendant. Of course she has incentive to lie and implicate another. If another person is implicated for the crime, she will be set free. That is certainly sufficient motive to lie. And I already explained that why Christoph Gavin's testimony could be trusted, Mr. Apollo Justice. He is already on death row and received no deals for his testimony. Unlike the defendant, Mr. Christoph Gavin has no reason to lie today. My word, Mr. Montgomery, you're right. I've never seen such a blindly fast turnabout. What a remarkable use of logic. It seems that the defendant's argument is about invalid one after all. It's true that the prosecution's witness has not backed him. But, however, the defense's witness has a count against her that gives reason for doubt. The theories are not equally valid. You nearly slipped that by me, Mr. Justice, but it didn't work. No, this can't be happening. How she turned it all around so quickly. Now what? The judge is about to hand down his verdict. Shall I raise an objection? Raise an objection! With no further objections, this court finds the defendant verbatim. Objection! Mr. Rhodes, Miss Sykes, what is the meaning of this? Can I not hand down a verdict, please? Huh? Oh, of course. It's, what's this objection supposed to be about again? There's a problem, Your Honor. The problem, eh? Where's this problem? The problem is in the... What was her last statement? The problem is in the prosecution's last statement. The prosecution's last statement? Miss Montgomery. Miss Montgomery, the court has need of you awake. Not asleep. Oh, apologies, Your Honor. I zoned out a little. I assumed you were ending the trial. Not quite, Miss Montgomery. The defense claims that there's a problem in your last statement. Fortunate, my last statement was as perfect as any other statement of mine. Nonetheless, I figure we have the time to hear it once more. The defense has been almost right enough time today that deserves one last chance. Very well, Your Honor. Give me a moment to recall the statement, and I will recite it back perfectly. Thank you, Miss Montgomery. Now, Mr. Justice, I want this to be clear to you. This will be your final chance. If you fail to convince me here and now, I won't even pin my suit. I'll end the trial with a guilty verdict. Understood, Your Honor. I swear the combined stress and pressure are going to kill me someday. You get one chance, Mr. Justice, and that's it. Present the evidence that proves the problem. If I don't like it the first time I see it, it's a guilty verdict for your client. Whatever you have planned, it had better be good. Your Honor, I'm ready to recite my last statement. Excellent. No, this isn't going to be an official cross-examination, so we'll skip the usual rigmarole. What? I get it. Bear is found guilty. Don't screw up justice. Don't screw up justice. Don't screw up justice. Don't screw up justice. Alright, I believe we're all ready. You may begin. Ah! I'm not gonna end the video here. Maybe I actually will. I don't know! Fuck. I don't know. Let's go! Unlike the defendant, Mr. Christoph Gavin has no reason to lie today. Of course he does! As I said, I didn't know whether I should. No reason to lie, you say? I find that hard to believe you on, Karma. If you're trying to get me to slip up, Mr. Apollo Justice, it won't work. That's not what I'm trying to do, Von Karma. I have the evidence that proves the problem. Take a look. This is a news clipping about the original mission trial and the this system's rejection. Look at page 2 in particular. You'll see a quote there from Gavin himself. I must apologize, Mr. Justice, but could you read the clipping aloud? I forgot my reading glasses today. Of course, Your Honor. And I quote, I will get my revenge on him and justice before this is over. Him being Mr. Wright and justice referring to myself. Gavin was livid at the outcome of the original mission trial. Given this, his motive to lie is clear. He wanted to enact his vengeance by telling a lie that would change the outcome of the trial. Order in the court. Mr. Justice, are you claiming that Mr. Gavin's testimony was a complicated fabrication? One crafted for revenge against yourself and Mr. Wright? That's exactly what I'm saying, Your Honor. The news clipping proves it. If Gavin could change the outcome of the trial, Mr. Wright's work of 7 years would be undone. Mr. Wright would lose, and Gavin would emerge victorious over his enemy. What we have here is a clear reason to distrust Gavin, a clear reason to think he might lie. If you're as untrustworthy, then so is Gavin. Your claim that we can only trust Gavin is invalid, Von Karma. We're back to where we were right after Mr. Wright's testimony, Your Honor. It's a he said, she said situation. I can't prove that I'm right, but neither can Von Karma. Either Vera is lying to avoid prison, or Gavin is lying to get revenge. Both scenarios are equally likely. Hold on, Mr. Justice. There's one mistake that you've made. One critical error that unravels the notion that Gavin lied in order to get his revenge. Keep reading the clipping and you'll see what I mean. It says that Mr. Christoph Gavin's testimony influenced the Congressional Committee's decision. The jury system was also Mr. Phoenix Wright's work of 7 years. If Mr. Christoph Gavin was in search of revenge, wouldn't he have found it in the jury system's rejection? But again, Von Karma, you should know better. I don't have any evidence per se, but I do know of another person who could only be satisfied by vengeance through the courts. Someone who could have found revenge another way, but instead wanted to defeat Wright in this trial. If there exists a person who felt this way, then it isn't unreasonable to think it's possible Gavin did too. It's you, Von Karma. You're my final piece of evidence. During the recess, we had a discussion in the lobby. I won't go into details since you were there, but I want you to remember what we talked about. We talked about your revenge, Von Karma, about how you'd only be satisfied with winning this trial, even though another, much simpler avenue of vengeance was available to you. Von Karma, you're perfect, all right? You're the perfect example to prove my point. No, it can't be. Remix! Face the facts, Von Karma. If Vera's scenario fits the evidence, then you can't disprove her testimony outright. The testimony that forms the linchpin of your case has a clear motive to lie about everything. The theory behind that motive is solidified by your own desire for revenge. In short, the testimony supports my theory and yours equally, and you have no advantage. Von Karma, your case doesn't have a leg to stand on, and now you know that. Oh, so much. Just shut up. Get it over with. You were only able to get this far using dirty tactics and cheap tricks. Your case was never anything more than a paper tiger. Von Karma, all bark and no bite. Order, I will have order in this courtroom. Be orderly, or I will have you all held in contempt. Miss Von Karma, what do you have to say for yourself? The prosecution rests. Wait, really? Mr. Justice is right. I surely have no case to speak of. The prosecution sees no reason to pursue charges or continue the trial, that is all. If I may say, I believe we've reached the end of a very long and winding path to justice. You deserve my apologies, Mr. Justice, Miss Sykes, Miss Misham. I misjudged you all. What? Pshaw. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Actually, it isn't fine, but you won't catch me saying that to the judge. Thank you, Mr. Justice. That's a load off my chest. Now, if the prosecution has anything it would like to add... Bye. That's peculiar. It would seem that Miss Von Karma decided to leave early. Well, we don't exactly need her around to end the trial. I think I'm ready to hand down my verdict. Well then... Court finds the defendant Vera Mishram not guilty. Yeah. Court is adjourned. Yay. Oh my gosh, we actually won. We made it through after all. That was easy. Holy shit. I didn't expect it to be that easy.
That's what he said.
I never actually completed this case. I just got through one part of it before, so long ago. Never actually got to it again. So, that was easy. Well then, I think I'm just about ready to faint. Apollo, you did it. I told you you could win the case, and look here, you did it. Thanks, Athena. I just wish it hadn't been so close sometimes. Yeah, I guess you could work on your technique a little. Hey, give me a break. I won the trial and got Vera acquitted, didn't I? Only with the assistance of yours truly. I deserve some credit, don't I? Alright, we did it. Say, how's Vera doing? Vera, how are you feeling? You won the trial, you're free again. I knew you'd win the trial. I said, Bleh! I said that I trusted you, didn't I? Vera. She looks so happy, so trusting. I think tears are starting to come to my eyes. Say, Apollo. Yeah, I think there was something really off during the whole trial that I can't wrap my head around in retrospect. Oh man, I didn't miss something important, did I? It's about Von Kammer's emotions. Ooh, didn't miss anything important. It's just really strange. Her emotions were all over the place during her trial. At first it was this mix of happiness and anger, typical revenge emotions. But then I noticed this hint of sadness, and it just grew and grew, especially when we started losing. When we started losing? Weird, I know. I was wondering if you had any ideas that might explain it. Me? Aren't you the psychologist? What would explain such conflicting emotions? Constipation! Oh, Jesus! Why? Pretty sure it was guilt. Maybe. Hey, I don't know. Aww. I wanted a special dialogue for that. Aww. Maybe. Hey, I'm no psychologist, so I don't even know why you asked me. Doesn't that make sense, Miss Wright? I wonder where he went. Ah, well. The boss can take care of himself. As for us, I say we go out and celebrate. Celebrate? Yeah, a little kudos to us, sort of thing. What do you think? Well... Emma! Hey everybody, how do you like my summoning of the cavalry? It was much appreciated, Emma, thanks. I really don't know where we'd be otherwise. Don't mention it, Apollo. Anything to get back at that snooty bratty I'm so perfect prosecutor. Say, Emma, Apollo and I were thinking of going out and celebrating. Would you like to join? When was it ever my idea? Sounds like fun. I'm up for it. Hey, hold on. Before we make any plans, so let's see what Vera thinks. It was her trial, you know. Vera, what do you think? Do you want to go out and celebrate somewhere? I know a small restaurant. I went there a couple times on my own. It's just nice food. On your own? Nice going, Vera. That's actually a pretty huge deal for someone like Vera. There are also booths, so we can eat with some privacy. If we went there and no one was too loud. I like that. Vera, this is what makes all that stress worth it. Seeing Vera is so happy with her second chance. This is what being an attorney is all about. Giving people a second chance. Alright, it's settled. We're going out. Tabs on Apollo. Or for me, I can provide the ride, since Apollo here is lame and can't drive. Huh? Huh? Is it typical for Apollo to pay for the entire bill? Huh? 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 Of course it is! Am I right, Apollo, or am I right? Why is it that lately all I want to do is scream? Oh, here goes nothing! Objection! Oh fuck. Vitamins, where? For someone who was one camera sure runs fast. Now, I could have sworn I saw her come this way. Oh, Mr. Montgomery. Arg! Yeah, guess I should have expected that. What on earth are you doing here, Mr. Phoenix Light? Can't you see I wish to wallow in peace? Oh, my apologies. I didn't realize these perfect people did anything as foolish as wallow. Sorry, that was a little mean. I just wanted to see how you were doing. You seemed pretty stunned near the end of that trial, and then the way you up and left. Well, a guy's allowed to worry about his acquaintances, isn't he? But a foolish sentiment only a foolish fool would foolishly have, and then foolishly share. There's no need to worry about me. I left because I was angry and bitter, that I couldn't stand staying. You know, I might be tempted to believe you. Except there's one piece of evidence that I can't help but find odd. Oh fuck. It's not like it isn't genuine or it shouldn't exist. It's just strange that I found it. What the fellow doesn't know he's missing won't hurt him. It's just strange that I found it in the court record. And you know, this one piece of evidence kind of makes me think you didn't really want to win. Don't be foolish, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Of course I didn't want you to win. I'm a Von Karma. Really? That's not what the evidence suggests. This is a strange piece of evidence that suggests that you didn't want to win in the trial in the first place. It's this news clipping right here. Don't make me laugh, Mr. Phoenix Wright. That's a clipping about Mr. Christoph Gowan, not me. I wouldn't be too sure about that on camera. You see, I'm not interested in the clipping's contents. I'm interested in the fact that it's in the court record at all. This clipping is about Gavin. It proves he has a motive to lie and get to be found guilty. But it doesn't really do anything. It has no reason to be in the court record at all. Yet you were the one who put the clipping into the court record. I know you're more careful than that, Von, so I don't think you would put the clipping in. Unless you wanted Apollo to have a chance to win the trial. You always were perceptive, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I should point out that when I first undertook this task, I intended to crush the defense completely. There wasn't a doubt in my mind that you fully deserved everything I had planned for you. I was going to destroy everything you worked for, the jury system, Vermisham's not guilty verdict. Gavin had already destroyed the jury system for me. Then he was gracious enough to facilitate the destruction of your hard-won verdict against him. After that, it was child's play to undo your carefully orchestrated trial on charges of corruption. Honestly, did you really think that your political machinations wouldn't have repercussions? Well, after 7 years, a man can get a little impatient. That's no excuse. Either way, I believed you to be fully deserving of my vengeance, given the crimes. First, you were so foolish as to present suspicious evidence in court and get yourself disbarred. Then, when I try to contact you, I find that you've shut the entire world out in favor of wallowing. I was so not wallowing at the time. Then, 7 years later, you re-emerge, and to do what? You forge evidence. You attempt to eliminate the laws of evidence and proof. You orchestrate a verdict. You had You who had sworn to fight for truth and justice, you turned your back on it all for revenge on Gavin. Hey, that wasn't all. The system really was screwed up. I was only trying to make things better. Do you really think there was nothing good about it? It's at least better than the initial trial system. Whether it was an improvement or not is not my point, Mr. Phoenix is right. Maybe it was a good idea. But why use the mission trial as the test? Why taint your quest for justice with personal vengeance? You were angry that my motives weren't pure? In a way, yes. You had been such an idealist in the past. It enraged me to see you had fallen so far. So I planned my revenge. I arranged the trial and analyzed the accepted explanation for holes. I determined how to take away every advantage you or your protégés would have. I worked with Gavin and we polished the testimony until it was unassailable. And then, this morning, I realized something. I had become everything I hated about you. Political machinations, use of a trial as vengeance. In the end, I was the fool, but I had already gone too far. I ignored my preoccupations and pressed on. I lied to myself, said your crimes justified such drastic measures. But I did that until I believed it. But I suspect some part of me still saw my folly, and ultimately I put the clipping in the court record. I told myself it was part of the revenge. But really, it was my hope that everything could be made right. I've been nothing but more than an utter fool, Mr. Famous Fight. I don't know if I can forgive myself. I should apologize. Excuse me? What do you have to apologize for? I'm the one who's been foolish. No, Von Karma, you're right. I did let my morals go during those 7 years to get my revenge. I figured I was doing something to change things for the better. So it was justified, but it wasn't really. And I paid the price because I dragged my grudge against Gavin into the justice system test. It looked suspicious, and he was able to get it rejected. So in some ways, you're right, Von Karma. We've really both been prideful, arrogant fools. I'm sorry, Mr. Phoenix, right? I've caused considerable undue pain and heartache for petty reasons. As I said, I'm not sure if I can ever forgive myself. I'm uncertain if I even belong in the courts anymore. All is forgiven, Francisco Von Karma, from one broken fool to another. Broken fools, how accurate. Yeah. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Well, there we are. That's the end of that. Well, damn, that took half an hour. What the fuck is this? What's this music? I want to know this music. Maybe I should. I should be quiet for the rest of this. And then I'll end the video once it ends. So I want to know what this music is. Alrighty then. That might actually be enough. Oh fuck! Dear Lord! Sorry about that, YouTube! Jesus, I didn't expect that. For my next trick, I'm going to need someone to be my assistant. Oh, me. Please pick me to be your assistant. Sorry, you weren't quick enough, Master Maya. There's already another volunteer. And he is already on stage! Whoa, that was amazing. A birthday party with a Grammar magician. And Clavier Gavin. This is the best birthday party ever. Mr. Gavin, a word while Miss Faye is watching the magic show. Sorry, what is it, Herr Edgeworth? I just wanted to thank you for doing this. I'm afraid I owe you right a favor, and well, I suppose now I owe you one too. Ah, to say nothing of it, Herr Edgeworth. As if I would really turn down a chance to sing and play guitar for my pretty Frauleins. Yes, of course. Eventually, someone is going to have to tell him his German pronunciation is atrocious. What? All this for a birthday party, so this is the urgent business he called me for, right? Typical, right? Sometimes I worry he cares too much. Oh well, I suppose it's a minor fault. I wonder how he's faring against Franziska. Well, he hasn't phoned me for help yet, so Franziska may have whipped him into hospitalization. I should probably go check on them. Well, that was a nice post-credits scene. Well, I'm glad that I didn't end the video before then. See you in the next video, YouTube. Goodbye.